Down the road, we could see this branch into things like looking at treating the inflammatory conditions that go with aging.
Correct.
You call it inflammation.
One of the key things that we actually learned with one of the studies that we actually did was we know that our cells, the cells that we use, can help regulate the immune system. And if you think of which is what something that's, there's nothing more important than that. And when we talk about that, you talk about, remember, you have an immediate immune response, which is NK cells, natural killer cells, which we'll talk about in a little bit.
Yeah.
Macrophages, neutrophils, a bunch of some other cell types, dendritic cells, which is a fantastic cell that presents and basically orchestrates the entire army. But the secondary, the strong, massive response is T cells and B cells. But T cells either can be a pro-inflammatory cell, a regulatory cell, a suppressor cell, or an anti-inflammatory cell. One of the most important ones is that regulatory one. Why? Because what does it do? We talked about we have to have that balance. It regulates that balance. If there's too much inflammation, which you don't want too much inflammation, it'll regulate it and basically cause it to come down and cause the anti-inflammatory response to come up.
Wow.
So help regulate it. So it's so important to keep the system regulated, because if it's not, guess what? One of the biggest things that we target, autoimmune diseases. And autoimmune diseases are on the rise. It's crazy.
Yeah, they really are. Yeah.
It's crazy. There's new ones popping up. There's over 100 autoimmune diseses.
Wow, I didn't know.
I mean, it's a crazy number. There's over 100 of them.
And what
there's
do
new
you
ones that
credit
pop
that
up.
to? Pesticides, herbicides, insecticides? Like, what is it about modern day living? Because for the, as somebody that studied, mortality for decades, this is the first decade of our measured lifetime where life expectancy is going backwards. We've never had a decade where mortality tables are actually taking life expectancy backwards. I mean, what are causing this sudden rise in autoimmune conditions?
I think we're getting bombarded from all sides, right? It's in our water, right? We're seeing the microplastics and all the toxins in our water.
Talk about that.
Yeah. We're seeing it in our air, right? We're seeing it in our food source significantly. I mean, look at what a good job you do at kind of relaying the message that we're even organic. I mean, what is really organic? How can you really vet like we could do more vetting on our stem cells than you can on your organic food.
Yeah.
To that level, right? But no one's really testing that stuff. So if we're being bombarded, we can only do the best job possible, but it's mitigating all of those environmental factors. And we feel that ultimately, I think you touched on it earlier, which is the diagnostic testing, right? So we have to go back to what is the source. Some people may be more sensitive to particular toxins than others, right?